Guys, what's going on? James here, and welcome to my Hall of Fame game preview. Now, this is the first official preseason game of the year, and I, for one, am sad. I mean, I'm excited, but I'm sad because I won't be able to watch the game because I'll be at work, unfortunately. However, I do want to give a little bit of a preview to this game for any Bears fans, for any Ravens fans. It should be a pretty fun game in my opinion because I want to talk about both teams real quick. So for the Chicago Bears and for the Baltimore Ravens, there's going to be a lot of backups playing, right? There's going to be a lot of backups playing. However, both teams have some very interesting backups. Let's talk about the Bears first, right? Let's talk about the Bears. So I want to talk about their defense real quick because they made a lot of additions to the defense. They made a lot of additions everywhere. Allen Robinson, Aaron Lynch, among others. But there's some very interesting backups that they have as well. Guys like Bryce Callahan and Roquan Smith. These are the two of the more interesting backup defenders in my opinion. Callahan being a cornerback and Roquan Smith being their first-round pick at linebacker. I think both these guys are going to get a lot of playing time, and I think both of them have the ability to be starters. Maybe even on this team, but they could for sure be starters on other teams. So I think that the Bears have done a really nice job of just building overall depth at their linebacker position. They have one of the sneakier defenses in the league, in my opinion, with some of these additions that they've made. They do have already two very established guys at cornerback with Prince Amukamara and Kyle Fuller, but don't count out Bryce Callahan. He could be one of the better nickel cornerbacks in the league, and I think he should be getting a lot of playing time in the nickel and on the outside as well, just to hopefully have the ability to show what he can do. And for Roquan Smith, obviously he was one of the best linebacker draft prospects, if not the best linebacker draft prospect in this past draft. So hopefully he gets a lot of playing time. I don't know if he is going to be getting a lot of playing time. Same with new addition Aaron Lynch. Those two guys are probably very valuable to the Chicago Bears. So I don't know if they're going to get a huge amount of time playing wise, but hopefully the stuff that we do see from them is very good stuff, and hopefully they can be able to get to the Ravens quarterbacks and just get into the Ravens backfield and just show that they are as dominant as at least I think they are. But moving on to the offensive side of the ball, some players that I want to watch on the offensive side of the ball for the Chicago Bears. Charles Leno Jr. He's a sneaky, really good left tackle in my opinion. Maybe not sneaky, but I think he's a decent left tackle. I want to see him take that next step and become one of the better left tackles in the league. I think he does have the ability to do that. So for me, it's just I want to make sure I want to be able to go out there and see his development. I also want to see backup quarterback Chase Daniel because I know Mitchell Trubisky likes to run around a lot, and he likes to make some plays, but I feel like if he does get injured, you need to have a good backup option. Chase Daniel, to me, is one of those guys who keeps on finding jobs without having to do much. I don't actually remember. I don't think if ever Chase Daniel's been like a full-time starting quarterback. I think he's been a backup role his entire career. But I want to see that Chase Daniel does have that ability to be a fringe starter, and if something were to happen with Mitchell Trubisky, the Bears would be in good hands with Chase Daniel. I think that that's something that needs to be shown, and he's working with some interesting weapons. They have Kevin White, who, Kevin White's, I don't want to say he's been a disappointment, but he hasn't been too impressive. I think a lot of this you can chalk up to injuries. However, I really need to see Kevin White go out there and just start having the type of seasons that start having the type of games, I guess I should say, that everybody expected him to have, which is just dominance. I really need to see that he can be a dominant wide receiver, and hopefully this is the year that he really can break out and just stay fully healthy for a full year. You also have Tariq Cohen, who is the second running back basically behind Jordan Howard. However, he's really a Swiss Army knife in terms of how he can be used. I think They were saying that he's going to be used in the slot, he's going to be used at running back, and he's going to be used everywhere. So I want to see how versatile he can be and how he's going to be used in this new Bears offense after they got rid of their head coach, brought in a new head coach. I want to see how he can be used in this offense and how versatile he can be. Moving on to the Baltimore Ravens, what I'm expecting from them, well, obvious answer is obvious. Lamar Jackson is the first one. I don't know how much Lamar Jackson's going to play. I assume he's the backup. He is the backup in my, he's going to be the backup, especially with how much money you're paying Joe Flacco. He's going to be the backup. So I don't know how much we're going to see of Lamar Jackson. Maybe not too much, considering they probably don't want to get their first round pick exposed so much to where he could be getting hurt, but also at the same time you want to get him those reps. You want to make sure, like, he needs to know how to play quarter, he needs to have some game experience under him. So I don't think we're going to see too much of Lamar Jackson, but I don't think we're going to be seeing too little of Lamar Jackson. The next guy that I want to see is RG3. I want to see how RG3 can do coming back, the resurgence of RG3. He's basically like, Lamar Jackson is basically the new RG3 in my opinion. So having RG3 as a mentor to Lamar Jackson is honestly, that might be the future of the Ravens quarterback position, where Lamar Jackson's the starter, RG3's the backup. Who knows what happens to Joe Flacco? But I really like RG3. I really hope he does good in his preseason games. I think this offense kind of fits him pretty well for a very run-first-ish type of offense with play action ability. They run a lot. I think the Ravens do run a lot of play action. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think they do. So I think this offense suits guys like Lamar Jackson and RG3 very well. So I'm looking for both of them to have impressive games versus the Chicago Bears here. I also want to see how Kenneth Dixon and Javarius Allen do as the backup running backs. I think Alex Collins is going to be the Ravens' #1 option. I don't know for sure, but I think so. Again, I don't know for sure. But I think that they're both very solid running backs, and they could even be, good enough. I think they have the potential to be #1 running backs, if not on the Ravens, then on other teams. So I want to see how they do, obviously. I think the Ravens have one of the best stables of running backs. I think they have all three guys who can be fringe starters, or if not fringe starters, very good role players. Alex Collins being the best out of the bunch, in my opinion. So being able to see how these guys do, maybe they can separate themselves. I don't think the running back group is going to change very much, if at all, from those three guys. I think they might continue to do a committee just because it's the best thing to do. But who knows? I mean, Kenneth Dixon was coming on very strong last year, I think, before he got injured. Same with Javarius Allen, and that eventually pushed Alex Collins in, who even he performed well. So it's like, okay, everybody's going to do good in this Ravens scheme, apparently. They have a really good offensive line as well. And then finally, I want to see how this new receiving core does for the Baltimore Ravens. It's pretty retooled. In fact, it's almost completely retooled. You have Brashad Perriman, who I need to see a lot more out of. He's kind of in the same boat as Kevin White, where he hasn't been able to show the first round ability that made the Ravens want to draft him in the first round. This could be due to injuries, just underperformance, whatever it may be. I need to see something that says to me, like, yeah, Brashad Perriman looks like a former first-round pick. I need to see that. Otherwise, he might end up being a bust. Who knows? But then you still have three new additions to the wide receiver core. You have Michael Crabtree. You have John Brown. You have Willie Snead. I think a pretty decent upgrade from what you had last year. I really like Crabtree. I think he's one of the more underrated wide receivers in the league. I think he's top 25, top 20, which is not bad at all. Then you add in deep threats like John Brown, which John Brown was sneakily a very good deep threat last year. He's got a lot of speed to him. So I expect Crabtree maybe to not get as much playing time, considering he is going to be a full-time starter, but I expect some stuff out of John Brown, a lot of stuff out of Brashad Perriman, and I really like Willie Snead. Willie Snead to me was one of the sneakier signings this year for the Baltimore Ravens, because of just how versatile he can be. He's kind of to me, he's a really, really balanced wide receiver, and he had some very good years with the New Orleans Saints. So I'm hoping that Willie Snead is able to come in and just overall be that really balanced, reliable option that he has shown that he can be for or that he was for the New Orleans Saints. So all in all, this should be a pretty exciting game. I know there's going to be ceremonies and whatnot at halftime, and they're all going to be talking about the Hall of Fame and whatnot. I don't know if Terrell Owens is going to be there, honestly, but I'm very interested in how the game is going to be played. I'm very interested to see some of these backups come in and go out there and be able to perform. And just overall, it should be fun because football's going to be back, you know. That should be fun. But let me know what you guys think about the Hall of Fame game down below. Who are you, if you're a Bears fan, who are you excited to see? If you're a Ravens fan, who are you excited to see? And if you're a Bucs fan, because, you know, this is a Bucs channel, let me know how excited you are for football to come back. And, you know, just let me know if you have any future ideas for any future videos. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, I will see you in the next video or live stream. But until then, and as always, goodbye for now, guys. See ya.